Or the missing dogs, that's right, yeah.
And mayor. Once he started the doctor,
It was just so costly. And it was,
Will's sitting there, Will's sitting there. Well, for now.
yeah, like,
Where do you come from? That's a beautiful area. How did you find your way here? You just she worked with me in Monk's Corner for about 6 years. I know that place. Mark Dennis, the whole Dennis family, friends of mine, Irmo. Hello, Mr. Mayor.
How are you, sir?
You, sir. Good to see you. You too. We're gonna make this thing over. Yeah, it's all brand new, and when they came in to put the stickers up, I asked them about getting a seal that wasn't so tiny. So, looking good. Looking good. Looking happy. Hey, Mayor. Oh, he's out there talking to Phyllis. Okay. Good. Very happy to have you. You guys have that. I'm on Murraywood, about 6 houses down from Port King. Oh yeah, you were. I'm sorry. It is. I'm looking forward to not visiting boxes. I can spend some time with for walks and riding the bike. In Murraywood, you get an awful lot of houses. The yards are established. And 95% of the I'll tell you what, yeah, I'm right behind it. Right there. It was kind of funny. I was parking behind the hospital. I'm like, yeah, we need their curtains up here, but that's right. Nice and quiet.
Well, my wife enjoyed me touching and talking to her.
I'd love to get down there.
Yeah, so.
If I get down there for the important games,
He won't want to lose.
no,
I told him I saw you, he was mad. Jackson, this is my birthday. Yeah. I wish I could have came with him.
I did too. I love that kid.
Yeah.
I like that. Wall.
Yeah. I mean, they paid labor to load the truck. Yeah, that's already.
And we redid the seal.
Well, yeah. Yeah, the school has more detail, train expo coming out. It's just better to do it. Trains are different.
Remember when we were working on the train park?
Like that's part of the big brand.
What?
$25,000. I like that. Good park.
Folks, welcome to the Irmo Town Council, and we're going to open tonight with a public hearing, and it is a two-part public hearing. We're going to address Part A right now, and let me ask you let me share with you what it is. A, to receive comments on Ordinance 2414, authorizing the sale of a portion of town property located at 7815 Broad River Road, TMS R04005-04-01. The sale to Richland County in the amount of $85,100 for the US Route 76 widening project. I do not see anyone signed up to comment. Is there anyone who wants to comment on that? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll close that portion of the public hearing. We'll move to item B, to receive comments on Ordinance 2415, to adopt a comprehensive plan for the town of Irmo. I have no one signed up for that. Does anybody want to speak, make a presentation on that? Hearing none, seeing none, public hearings are closed. All right, at this point, I would like to call this meeting to order, November 19th, 2024, of the Irmo Town Council. And it is my honor to call on the Girl Scout Troop 910 to come up here and present our flags.
Girl Scouts attention. Color Guard attention. Color Guard advance. Color Guard post the colors. Color Guard honor your colors. please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Girl Scouts, please join me in the Girl Scout promise. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. Girl Scouts dismissed. Color Guard dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
Want to skinny up, eat some more apples? Okay, I'd like to call on Councilman Penfield for the invocation.
Father God, thank you for bringing us here today. Help us make good decisions that help our community. Guide our national leaders and local leaders to do what's right for everyone. Please be with us in this meeting. Help us work together for the good of all. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, ladies. Very impressive. And so happy that you're here tonight. Okay, with that, we're going to move to an approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, having appropriately been motioned, are there any comments? Council members? Nothing? All right, I will call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it unanimously. Reading of the minutes from October 15th, 2024. It seems like a long time since we've sat here, thanks to the election day cancellation of the festivities. So, reading of the minutes, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, thank you. Report of standing. Courtney? I'm sorry, report of standing. Have anything for introductions or anything like that?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. First off, I'd like to introduce Lisa Hancock. She's with us tonight. She's our new finance director and municipal clerk. At our last meeting, we did vote to make her our municipal clerk, so she's here. She'll be the one taking the role when you call that. She comes to us with over 16 years of local government experience. She's already hit the ground running, has very great accounting skills, and has really helped us muscle through the transition. So we welcome Lisa, and she's a great addition to our team. A few updates from my administrative briefing. First off, the BZA met October 21st and took a look at a couple variances and a setback, which were approved. One of the applicants didn't show on a third application. Okerstret met on November 12th. They re-elected Mike Ward as the chairman, Lauren Schur as the vice chair, and Phyllis Hawkins as the secretary. During that meeting, they discussed the 2025 Okerstret and started kicking around a couple ideas. They will be working on putting their budget together and presenting it to council here soon. Planning Commission met on November 4th. They reviewed an annexation petition, recommended a text amendment to our zoning code. Both of those are on the agenda for tonight. Events Committee met on November 14th. They reviewed the 2024 Trunk or Treat, which was what I felt was a big success. They did have a few minor adjustments for next year. They're also discussing a chili cook-off and a skate park event. They did vote to approve a recommendation to council, which you'll hear tonight, about hosting a 2-day skating competition at Rawls Creek Park. That was included in your packet for tonight's meeting. A few last updates. Rawls Creek Park is now open, and I don't know if you've been by there, but it is packed. Every day I go by there. That skate park's being highly utilized. We still have a few final touches we are putting on it, including a mural that'll be painted next week. They were supposed to start this week, but with the rain coming in, I think they'll be pushed off. But that should wrap up that project. And I also included Mr. Nates' code stats for your viewing as well. That's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, item B, new in-town businesses. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Mayor. New in-town businesses, LMR Pool and Spa, Wendy's, Patterson Custom Woodworking, Module, Weedman, Caring Hands to Your Door, and Cozy Care at Home. Welcome to the town.
Thank you, sir. Okay, next up, consideration of communications. If you'd all like to meet me down front, we have a presentation to make. Welcome. Come on down. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, my pleasure.
Yeah.
You want me to remember that on the fly, right? All right, I want us, this is our, as you know, we have a monthly business of the month. And this month, it is for the Metro Mortgage, and the ladies are here, Martha Neal, Tara Heil, is that right? Nobody gave me them, I'm flying here. Beth Cafon, and Diana Harder. That's good, I got it right. That's always good. Yeah, that's always good. And here is what it says: presented to Metro Mortgage in recognition of being the small business of the month for the town of Irmo, November 2024. Congratulations.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you for being here in Irmo, and I go by your place a million times a day. So, round of applause, folks. Now, with that, I think I need a mortgage, but I'll come by to see you. With that, will you tell us a little bit something about the company?
Sure. We've been in business since 1993, and we've been in Irmo a few years. A couple of the guys have been by to see us. We love being in the town of Irmo. Feels like home. I'm going to let Tara tell you a little bit more about us.
As Martha said, we've been in business since '93. We all live in this area, so when this opportunity came, this was natural for us to come out here. So we live here, we work here, and we have just been so happy to be part of Irmo. We feel like Metro means family, and we treat you like a neighbor, not a number. So we love being in our neighborhood, and have been happy that we've been able to help make a little bright spot down there too, next to Matthias.
I almost parked in your parking lot today, but that's
That's all
another story.
right.
You can park there. We'll let you park.
Okay, thank you. Don't say that out here now.
And a multiple-time holiday-like award winner.
Absolutely.
We do like to
Yeah.
decorate.
Okay, good. That time of year is
Working
coming
on
up again.
Working on a little something now.
Hey.
So we encourage you to come by and visit
Santa and Mrs.
Oh.
Claus will be in our office from 4 to 7:30 on December the 5th.
Nice.
And good time to meet Santa, have a cookie, take some pictures with
Danielle,
the
will you
Clauses.
remember to put that out on the?
It's already on.
Thank you.
I would love to, yes.
She's marvelous.
She's awesome. I enjoy talking to her.
Yes. Yeah, we have Santa come. We have Santa come every year, so it's always one of the highlights of our year.
I'm gonna take all the yours and I'll get one of mine. Three, two, one. One more.
Thank you, Danielle.
You're good?
One more.
One more.
3, 2, 1.
You know, you can share those pictures, by the way. It goes all over the place.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Last time I could tell, you can share all that. What do I know?
He's on a roll tonight.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, thank you. That's all part of the fun part of being up here, and we're so thankful to have businesses like Metro Mortgage in our town. Okay, next item up, presentation from Highsmith and Highsmith LLC for the 23-24 independent financial audit of the town of Irmo's finances. And I'm assuming Todd?
That's correct.
Todd Highsmith, thank you for being here, sir. Shane, I think you're here too somewhere.
No, he couldn't make it tonight.
Shane, so you're flying solo?
Flying solo.
Oh, it's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
Okay, I got a lot of questions for you.
Oh, no.
Okay.
You want to go with those first?
No, you go ahead and do your thing.
All right. Well, first of all, thanks, Mayor, and thanks, Town Council and staff for allowing us to have a few minutes tonight just to come in and hit a couple of highlights on the report. I'll keep my comments brief as far as the report goes. The first thing everyone looks for in the thicker report, you got two reports there, but the thicker one, the audited financial statement report, you flip to page 1, and in the second paragraph, it kind of states that, in our opinion, after we've done all of our audit work, all of our test work, verified all the numbers, these financial statements are presented fairly, so it's a good, clean opinion for the town of Irmo for the year in 2024. Flipping over to page 10, just to hit a couple financial highlights. The total assets of the statement of net position was $19,483,094, of which approximately 66% of that is in cash and restricted cash. The total liabilities was $7,011,211, and after we subtract out that net pension liability, the total, in my estimation, real liabilities are $1,772,284. Our total net position of the town is $13,303,842, of which $7,216,253 is unrestricted, meaning it's can be spent at the town's discretion. Flipping over to page 11, on the far right-hand column, the third number up from the bottom is the change in net position. And it's good to see that we had an increase of $1,163,164 for the year. Flipping over to page 12, this is the governmental fund statements. This is without the fixed assets and the long-term debt of the town. And we usually just look at the general fund here. Our total assets for the general fund were $10,214,226, of which $9.5 million approximately is in cash. Our total liabilities of the general fund was $477,859. Our total general fund balance was $9,736,367, of which $9,363,882 was unassigned, meaning it's free to spend at the town's discretion. Flipping over to page 14 is the revenues and expenses. The total revenues of the general fund were $12,085,511. The total expenditures was $11,185,545. So we had a net increase in our general fund balance of $1,239,966. Just one more financial report to look at, and that's on page 43. Just real quickly, we'll look at and see how the town did against the budget. Our total budgeted revenues for the year were $9,659,075. Our actual revenues were $12,085,511. And
Excuse me.
Yes.
I didn't hear you. Could you repeat that, please?
Yes, sir. Our budgeted revenue numbers were $9,659,075. Our total actual revenues brought in were $12,085,511. So we had approximately $2.4 million overage on our budgeted revenues. Our budgeted expenses were $9,659,075. Our actual expenses were $11,185,545. We overspent our budget, but that was because of the increase in revenues. We had the extra money, but we still had that increase of around $900,000 in the general fund budget. So that's kind of all I have on the audited financial statements. The other report you have, the smaller report, it's just basically our report to town council to let you know how the audit went with management. And everything was great, as always here. The only issue is the segregation of duties. But when we were reviewing the draft this year, we were talking about re-examining how we can get that significant segregation of duties comment out of the report this year. So we'll be kind of, Courtney and Lisa and I will be getting together sometime during the winter months and revamping a little bit of our internal controls so we can make that one go away.
Okay. Courtney must have given you a heads up because you know exactly where I'm going.
Well,
I've been on this council for 5 years.
Yes, sir. And it's
And
been
every year, by your opinion, we're failing miserably with segregation of, right? Every year it's an exception.
Every year it has been exception, but you're not the only one in the state.
I don't care about everybody
I know.
else. All I care about is town of Irmo.
I know.
So
And-
my question
Yes, sir.
directly to you is we have to show, we're trying to show our constituents that we understand these numbers, right? We know what's going on here. But we got, and I'm exaggerating, right? We got this kind of black cloud that just sits there. It's not telling our constituents what we're doing to fix it, right? Even though we are taking steps to fix it. So how do we get you to specifically tell us what we have to do to eliminate that minor exception, which we take very seriously,
Sure.
segregation of duties. We now have a crackerjack. Lisa, I want to welcome you personally. It's redundant because you've been here a month. So we now have a crackerjack financial person here, as well as the rest of the team. So the question to you from my point of view, and I'm sure the rest of the council agrees with me, where is the roadmap to eliminating that? What do we need to do specifically, by your opinion, to clean that up?
The biggest roadmap is, and you've really started taking steps to that the last year and a half, 2 years, as adding staff as the town has grown. The more staff you have, the further segregation of duties you can get. In the past, especially the last 5 years, it was basically one person doing pretty much everything in the office. Now we have Courtney involved, we have the assistant town administrator involved, we have the finance director involved, and now we have the payroll person more involved, and those kind of people will help us control, or actually not any one person have total control of the asset or one asset. And so that's what we're trying to get to. And so that's what we'll be mapping out.
Okay? I'm going to be redundant. I'm coming at you again. Is there a ratio, people to dollars, that will help clear that up?
No, sir, there's no ratio or any specific goal, numbers there. It all is about the control of that asset. Like let's take cash, for example. Checks come in, they get opened by the lady up front, they get copies made, they go to this person to have the deposit prepared, this person verifies the deposit, this person over here takes it to the bank, and then another person reconciles that deposit or the bank statement every month. That's the kind of segregation we're talking about as far as eliminating that segregation duty. In the past, the municipal clerk had control of all of that. And so that's why it was a smaller staff. So now we've started adding staff as we should. And so hopefully this year, I'm confident we'll make that go away.
Okay, that was my question. We need to add somebody else. We know we need to add somebody else. You would think that that is just a minor passing statement in an audit, but it's a huge statement here because, you know, we need a new town hall.
Yes, sir.
We need the space to hire additional staff. We know the stresses that are put on the staff that we currently have, and with this growth comes comes the ability for an oopsie, right? And we don't want an oopsie.
Correct.
So, and I want to know what our goal is to eliminate this, and at least we've got a chance to get it eliminated next year. And I trust that you and Courtney and our finance director, you will be hands-on in helping us do that.
Absolutely.
Is that true?
Absolutely. We will not have this conversation next year if everything goes well.
Everybody heard that?
I'm on record.
On the record. Thank
I'm
you,
gonna
sir.
be with
I'm
Lisa.
going to open it up. I've had time to look into all of this, so.
Yes, sir.
And I'm also a finance major, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That explains.
I've spent my life reading financial statements.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Questions, comments from anybody here?
Well, you took the one that I had, which was the financial controls, because that's my question every year, that same question. And I think also a independent financial audit is a mandate from the state, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So that's why we're doing this. And in your report, is it true that you say that you didn't find any difficulties with the staff, that you were given all the documents that you requested, that everyone was transparent and forthcoming?
Yes, sir. Everybody was very forthcoming, transparent. We asked for something, we had it immediately. They always do a good job.
Very good.
Leadership is good.
Yeah. Those, and you found no irregularities to report? Is that
No,
correct?
sir. No, sir.
All right. That's, and then for the record, Courtney, all of the town's checks are on the state transparency website. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Did you come down from Travelers Rest?
I did. I live in Greenville.
Well, I'll be good cop. Thank you. Travelers Rest is a beautiful town.
Oh,
On behalf of Irmo, send them our best. Thank you.
We love that area. We love this area too. But that was home.
All right, hearing no other questions, thank you very much
Thank you, Mr.
for
Mayor.
your work,
Thank you,
and
Town
you and I
Council.
will be chatting as the year goes on.
Absolutely. You feel free to call me anytime.
Thank you, sir, I appreciate you.
All right.
Okay, next up, Councilwoman's, the school showcase. Councilwoman School Showcase.
Thank you. Tonight's school showcase will highlight H.E. Corley Elementary School Leadership Magnet and Montessori Magnet, and will be presented by Principal Melanie Harris.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
So glad to be with you all on this lovely Tuesday evening. With me tonight, I have my assistant principal, Mr. Jason Beber, and my administrative assistant principal, Ms. Julie Carruthers. We want to take just a few minutes to highlight our wonderful school, H.E. Corley Elementary Leadership and Montessori Magnet. We're located at 1500 Chadford Road, just in the New Friars Gate subdivision, so if you ever have time to stop by, we welcome you. But who we are a proud Title I school, which means we receive federal funding to help us enhance the learning for our students, and that is deemed by our pupils in poverty rate. But we are in the New Friars Gate community in Irmo. We serve students from 3-year-olds to 5th graders. In our program, we have about 570 students school-wide. We are unique in School District 5 because we're the only elementary school that has 2 magnet programs. So our whole school magnet is a leadership model in which all of our students learn about Stephen Covey's 7 habits. 7+1 habits, of successful people in our Leader in Me program, as well as we have what we call a school within a school, which is just a little cosmopolitan magnet, which is our Montessori magnet. So those students learn through the Montessori philosophy of Dr. Maria Montessori. We have about 120 students in that magnet program, but the students still learn our state standards, but just through the Montessori philosophy. We have about 105 dedicated staff members that come to H.E. Corley every day with the mindset of putting our students first and making sure that we have a nurturing, cultivating environment in which our students can be leaders and learners for life. We're a school that takes pride in building relationships with our students, our families, and our community members as well. Our vision and our mission statement is listed before you there, where we aim to foster relationships that encourage academic, social, emotional, physical development of the entire child, the whole child. Our lifelong learners will have self-direction and integrity to make a positive impact on society, which we all know as adults is very important. Our mission is how we go about that. So we try to empower our students to lead and to learn from their experiences and apply all of their knowledge for the good of their self and collaborative teamwork with others. We know that in our world today that we can't do any job alone, that it requires the teamwork of others as well. We have lots of celebrations. We do lots of things really well, we like to think, at H.E. Corley, but we've had lots of celebrations on the national level as well. We are a certified magnet school by Magnet Schools of America, as well as a Magnet School of Excellence, the Merit Award there by Magnet Schools of America as well. We have been recertified several times as a top leadership school in South Carolina as well as the nation. Ms. Carruthers does an excellent job of leading our leadership magnet school-wide. So we've been recognized by the Stephen Covey Foundation several times for our leadership program and what we do there. Also, Ms. Carruthers helps us with our Special Olympics. We have a preschool population of probably about 50 students with developmental delays, and so we teach our little learners how to participate and advocate for themselves through Special Olympics. Each year we do a polar plunge in conjunction with Special Olympics out at Lake Murray. So if you don't have anything to do the second Saturday in November, come jump in the lake with these two because they enjoy doing it every single year. I like to be the supervisor on that one. But nevertheless, we raise money for awareness and as Special Olympics as well. And then half of that money comes right back to H.E. Corley and our students, making sure that they have positive learning environments and the resources and the materials that they need. A part of being a leadership magnet is that we teach all of our students the 7 habits. If you come to Corley, our students can tell you what it means to be proactive, what it begins to think with the end in mind and to think win-win, how it's important to synergize and to work with others. And so it's not another thing that we do at Corley, it's the thing that we do. All of our teachers teach through the lens of leadership and being a good leader and how we apply that in our academics as well. Our motto is leading and learning for life, and we continue to use a child-centered educational approach based on scientific observations from birth to adulthood. As I mentioned, we start with 3-year-olds with developmental delays, so we're getting them at that prime, ripe age in which they are learning the most that they can. And so even teaching our 3s with developmental delays how to be a leader and a learner, it's a challenge some days, but nevertheless, it's a challenge that we rise to every single day. We focus on the whole child, and then our Montessori magnet has a multi-age groupings to help foster peer learning. So our Montessori model, we have 4- and 5-year-olds together, as well as 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders together in a classroom that learn from each other, and then our 4th and 5th graders in a classroom together. So we have 7 of those classrooms with that multi-age grouping. You can see pictures of our students and our families here. This was at a local Publix math night where we take real-world math. That was their math homework for the night, real-world math. Everybody uses a little bit of math when we go to the grocery store these days, right? We gotta add that bill up. So you see our students there measuring, weighing, adding up, things like that. To apply what they've learned in the classroom in real-world society. In our next slide, a few more pictures of our families here, students working on Chromebooks, synthesizing, synergizing together, welcoming our parents in, whether it's the beginning of school or just to come in and to observe one day. Our parents and our community is always welcome. Most recently, we partnered with South Carolina Career Kids through a grant with the town of Irmo, actually, where we were able to provide the program, the Safety Town program, to our 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and some 6- and 7-year-olds up to 2nd grade as well. So students learned about safety, how to be safe, how to the road, how to ride their bicycle safely, and the importance of it. And they had a terrific time. Lots of smiles, lots of adults jealous that they didn't get to ride the bicycles, but we had a lot of fun that day for sure. So if you're interested, follow us on social media. We are present on Facebook and on Twitter as well as Instagram. So if you'd love to learn more about H.E. Corley and what we have going on, I invite you to come follow us on one of our social media platforms. We always have our doors wide open with some safety measures, don't get me wrong, but we welcome volunteers, and we'd love to see any of our community members with us. We'll be sending some invitations for some events that we have coming up soon, so we hope that you are able to join us. And in case you don't know where we are, we're right near the speed humps. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. We'll stand for any questions.
You got any transmissions out there on the road?
Not yet, but this summer, I'm sure there were some pieces.
How can the town of Irmo or the council help you in your mission?
Absolutely.
And the kids, of course.
This spring, we look forward to bringing back our clubs this spring. So we're always looking for volunteers for adults to lead our clubs. We do 6 weeks of clubs, one afternoon a week, typically on Thursdays from 3 to 4. So if you have a gift or a talent or any inkling to share a gift or a love that you may have with students, or even just sponsor a club, we'd love to have you. I have a group of 2 or 3 boys that have written me a letter that want to start a chess club. I don't know how to play chess. I play checkers, and that's okay. But nevertheless, they want to start a chess club. They've already organized how they can get chess boards. They just want to play chess, and then they also want to learn from someone that's a little more advanced with chess. So if any of you have any chess skills, let me know. We'd love to have you as well. But just also sharing your gifts. We do a career day every year, so we like to immerse our kids in different occupations that they may be able to have one day as leaders in our community as well. So anytime, any gift that you have to share with us, we'd be more than happy to receive.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Again, all of us pass by your school. I can't even count. My question to you is a lot of times I'm driving by and I just want to stop. But then I'm thinking, well, no, there's never a good time. Yeah. I don't know that I want to, they were all busy. I don't want to interfere, but I really want to stop. Then I think, well, if I do stop, they're not going to let me in because everything's caged and everything's security, then I'm going to have to stand out there saying I really am the mayor. Right. So my question to you directly is, if I stop, can I get in?
Absolutely.
Is it an imposition to any of you, if, you know? Good question. Because I want to do that. I just don't ever know when the time is.
Absolutely. No, sir. We will absolutely make time in our schedules for you. Anytime you're driving by, if you want to pop in. If I'm not available, my counterparts are as well. And we have lots of people staged in positions that will be able to help you as well as show you around. We'd just love to get you in touch with our kids, as well as if you're available and want to read to a class one week, you got some extra time in your schedule, let me know, and I can set that up for sure.
I think you can count on all of us reading to kids, and all of us. You can certainly count on me. I can't speak for everybody, but you can certainly count on me for career day and all those types of things.
Awesome.
I just entertained 3 Girl Scouts troops this week.
Good.
And, you know, I had them laughing, and they were 7 and 8 year olds, I guess.
Yeah.
So they were younger, so, you know, they just call and they answer. So
Absolutely. I
think we're all very willing to do that.
Absolutely.
You are there are 2 elementary schools in Irmo.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we have a little pride in both of those.
Absolutely.
My goal is to get our school resource guy in your school, but Leon's not letting that happen. So, because you are in Irmo, and we don't want to ever forget that.
Yeah.
My town administrator's So you are a part of it.
Yes.
And a big part of it.
Well, thank
So
you.
thank you for the hard work, y'all.
Absolutely. And we will be in touch for the many events that we have coming up. We thank you all for your service and dedication to the town of Irmo and what you do for our students. It doesn't go unnoticed, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to keep going? Want to do the next intro? Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Next up is a presentation from Capital City, Lake Murray, Country of the Great Race.
Mayor and council members, thank you for the opportunity to allow Capital City Lake Murray Country to come and update you on some exciting new events that are coming into the region. I have with me this evening Cameron Blankenship, our manager of all of our special events. And we also wanted to drop off, before I get into the discussion of the Great Race, our updated annual report is in a folder for you. This is a year-end audit report of our marketing efforts. Last year, we spent well over $1.89 million on direct marketing, and that's to tell people outside of this four-county region of Richland, Lexington, Newberry, and Saluda about all the wonderful experiences, places to enjoy for vacation and to draw the visitors here. So please, I know you've got a lot to read tonight, but maybe you'll have time to read this over the weekend. We also are providing with you the specific updates of publications, social media traffic, website traffic that is geared in our efforts to promote the town of Irmo. And in Garden and Gun this year, there was a special feature on the okra strut. But tonight, Cameron and I want to kind of bring you up to date. We have an exciting event. We've been working on this for 2 years to lure this major event into having the town of Irmo being the finish line. Isn't that right, Cameron? And so we have over 300 plus vintage and antique cars that will be arriving in a zoom fashion into Moore Park at the end of June. And they will have 2 people per car, the drivers and a relief driver. And as you can see on the map, they're coming from all across the Midwest into this region. They'll be here for a couple of nights. We have involved, Cameron's done a fantastic job. She's been with us now just a year, almost a year and a half, and has reached out to many businesses in the Irmo community, from our churches to food caterers, food trucks, etc. We have met with the staff, the administrator, Courtney, and his staff to go through the run of show in detail and have a meeting later this week to finalize some of the items that you see in the draft run of show. We actually have visitors coming in tomorrow to go through this run of shows, so we're going to be finalizing that with the staff. As we are having it over in the park, Moore Park, anything financially that the council could do to help support this is a $40,000 event that we pay to hosts. And the payback for the community will be the visitation and the exposure. These drivers are coming into your community, and they'll be dining in your restaurants and sharing the stories. Cameron, have I left anything out about the Great Race?
Cars need gas, and they're going to be right in Irmo when they stop that race. They're coming all the way from Minnesota right down to Irmo, so that's another thing I wanted to get in there.
And we want to make sure that the Irmo community comes out strong, and to be there at 1 o'clock that Sunday afternoon to cheer them on and cheer them through the finish line. We would like to close tonight with an update. We just were fortunate to have 2 representatives to go to the World Food Championship in Indianapolis. Chris Williams from Roy's Grill and Wade Penland from my favorite new restaurant, Bistro on the Boulevard. And they competed with world chefs, over 300, I think it was 350 plus chefs from all over the world. Although they didn't place in the top 10, they certainly showed up for the town of Irmo. And we're very proud of everything that they have done. We will continue this program. It was very fortunate for the town of Irmo that y'all had the 2 representatives this year. So congratulations on that. Also, we are going to be hosting all state tourism directors and their staff on December 5th over at Bistro on the Boulevard. We do a lot for the town of Irmo throughout the year. Tonight, we just wanted to stop and share some highlights with you. Do any of you have any questions?
What day are they gonna be in Irmo?
The dates of the event are Sunday, June 29th. And the next day, we have fireworks on the lake.
Well, I didn't want to appear rude just a minute ago. I was putting it in my calendar, so.
Thank
The
you.
29th.
29th.
Are all these cars coming from Minnesota? Can they join halfway through? Or are they just going to do the whole ride?
They have a dedicated race trail, so they all have to start in the same spot.
Burt Reynolds won't be in this race, right?
We don't think so. Maybe his look-alike.
Most people aren't going to even get that, but that's okay.
We're going to have food trucks, and it'll be an entertaining family event as well for the town.
That's great.
Okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're doing great work. Okay, take it away.
Next up are our community connections. The first event is the Vista Lights, which will take place on Thursday, November 21st from 6 to 10 p.m. This is in downtown Columbia on Gervais Street. The next item I wanted to bring to your attention is the School District 5 Magnet Fairs. One of the Magnet Fairs will be held on Thursday, November 21st at Irmo High School. This is the Magnet Fair that will cover programs in the middle and high school areas. There's a free microchip event for Lexington County residents in Pelion Park. That's located at Railroad Avenue in Pelion. This is on November 23rd from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On the day after Thanksgiving, Friday, November 29th, the South Carolina State Parks will be open with free admission to all South Carolina state parks, and that also includes free admission to the historic homes that are part of the state park system. They just ask that if you want to tour a historic home that you make a reservation online. You can go to southcarolinaparks.com and go to the Programs and Events tab and reserve a time for your tour of one of the historic homes. On Tuesday, December 3rd at the Irmo Town Park, that's our park that's just right across the street at Carlisle Street, there will be the Irmo tree lighting event. That's at 6 p.m. and again on Tuesday, December 3rd. On December 6th through 8th, the Living Christmas Story will be presented by Union United Methodist Church. This is a drive-through event, and it will be open from 6:30 to 9 p.m. on those dates. On December 13th, from 9 to 11:30 a.m., Irmo High School will be hosting the Goodwill Brunch. This is open to seniors in our community, and basically seniors are considered 55 and older. They just ask that you RSVP if you plan to attend by December 6th. You can contact them at ihsevents@lexridge5.org or call them at 803-476-3162. Again, this is being sponsored by Irmo High School and the Irmo Chapin Recreation Commission. At this brunch, there will also be presentations and performances by the students of Irmo High School. The Irmo Theater Company Holiday Market will take place on Saturday, December 13th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. There will be a lot of activities going on there. There will be lunch with Santa and photos with Santa. They will provide childcare, so if you want to do some shopping without the kids around, you can do that. There'll be some activities and more going on there. This is at Irmo High School in the Main Street area in front of the Center for the Arts. On Shop with a Cop is being sponsored again by the Irmo Police Department Community Foundation. They're asking for donations for this event to make this happen. They're asking for donations to be sent in by December 5th so that they have enough funding to provide for the families in need. You can visit irmopdcommunityfoundation.org to donate. And that concludes our community connections.
Okay. Thank you. Lots to do, lots going on. Our next item up is recognition of the Artist of the Quarter. I have not had the pleasure of meeting Catherine, but I've seen some of her work. It's Catherine Morganelli. Makes this Irmo home, calling it home. She's been traveled all over the country over her career. And she loves to paint koi ponds, including our very own in our park. So she paints a lot in our Moore Park. Some of her artwork is in Town Hall, and we ask you to check her out. Check it out, Catherine Morganelli. She does a great job. Catherine's not here, I don't believe. But congratulations, and some beautiful stuff. Some beautiful art. Okay. Next item, presentation by the citizens, and that is for agenda items only. And I do have someone signed up, Mr. Mike Ward, if you'd like to come up. You got 3 minutes, you know the rules?
Yes, sir. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me tonight. I am speaking on new business item M, which is the appointments to the Okerstruck Commission. I am speaking as the chair with my experience, not the opinions of the actual voted commission. So I just wanted to say, you have 3 appointments that have applied: Sandra Fulmer, Michelle Carpenter, and Kimberly Snipes. Michelle was able to make it tonight. Kimberly and Sandra had previous family commitments, so they weren't able to make it. But Kimberly did send me a note to share with you that she is interested in continuing to serve as commissioner on the Okerstrut. Community involvement is important to her, and she's enjoyed being able to contribute in a small way to a great Irmo tradition. Additionally, Sandra sent her regrets that she could not be here tonight, but she says she honestly has enjoyed serving on the Okerstruck Commission. It's hard work, but at the same time, fun work. And I also wanted to say, because Michelle is here tonight, so she didn't send me a statement, but all 3 of these individuals are very dedicated to giving their time away for free to the Irmo Okerstruck. And so as the chair, I've been able to serve as the chair multiple years now. I greatly appreciate it, and I know that you as council and the town and our community appreciate all of their hard work. So I just wanted to encourage you and recommend from the chair's position that we appoint all 3 of those individuals tonight to the voting commissioner position. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, we're going to get to unfinished business. This is the second, item A, second and final reading of ordinance 2414, authorizing the sale of a portion of town property located at 7815 Broad River Road, TMS number R04005-04-01, to Richland County in the amount of $85,100 for the US Route 76 widening project. This is brought to us by staff. This will sell approximately 0.3 acres of land currently owned by the town of Irmo for the Broad River widening project. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Having been appropriately motioned, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, I will ask Lisa to call the roll.
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Thank you all. Item B. Second and final reading of ordinance 24-15 to adopt a comprehensive plan for the town of Irmo is brought to us by the Planning Commission. This is the second reading. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Having been appropriately motioned, is there further discussion?
Yeah, I just want to say briefly, this plan represents a lot of work. And for those that wonder what staff works on, what council cares about, and what the residents care about, this is that guiding document. It's incredibly important. If you care about the town and you post on Facebook about the town, take a couple of minutes and look through it.
Thank you, Council. Any other comments? Hearing none, seeing none. Lisa, will you call the roll?
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Thank you. All right, we're now into new business. First, item A, first reading of ordinance 2416 to annex plus or minus 0.8 acres located at or near 1621 Lake Murray Boulevard, Lexington County. TMS 001998020039 and 063. And to rezone said property from C1 Neighborhood Commercial, which is a Lexington County zoning, to CG General Commercial, which is our Town of Irmo zoning. This will annex the two lots adjacent to the BP station at the corner of Lake Murray and Nursery Road, including the large blue building at 1621 Lake Murray Boulevard. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Having been appropriately motioned, I'll open for discussion.
My first question after the last vote, what does our plan say, our future use land plan say about this parcel?
That corridor is a general commercial. I mean, it's 4-lane major highway.
It was just incumbent on us after passing it to ask that question. Does it immediately abut any residential property?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, that's wooded land below it, I believe
Yeah,
it.
I
Nursery
think
Road.
just below it is like a CPA office. Consultant firm, another general commercial.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Any other comments?
Dan Judd.
Thank you, Judd. Dan Judd.
Yeah, that was gonna mess
That's the
him up.
old Judd office behind. And anything else? Okay. Hearing none, seeing none, I will have Lisa call the roll.
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Thank you all. First reading, item B, first reading of ordinance 2417, an amendment to Article 2 of the zoning ordinance as regards to the use table. This is brought to us by the staff, and I would say Mr. Poland specifically. This will allow professional services, support services, and gyms in the neighborhood commercial district. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Having been appropriately motioned, I'll open for discussion. Councilman?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd love to hear from our zoning administrator the intent here.
Yeah, so as the town administrator alluded to and during his administrative briefing, last month at the Board of Zoning Appeals, there were astonishingly like 3 or 4 different applications for uses in the neighborhood commercial zone, none of which are specifically listed as being allowable uses in that zone. And as a longtime planner, it didn't necessarily make sense why those uses weren't allowed in, not only in that zone, but that particular location where they were, especially on Thames Valley, or we have a location next to Mavis Tire on Woodrow that's seeking to become a gym. These seem like uses that make sense, especially a gym makes perfect sense as a neighborhood commercial. Oftentimes you'll see them in the middle of HOAs. And so they went to the Board of Zoning Appeals to get them to be able to move in quicker. I would say Weed Man was one of the groups that was there last month, and so they are already a new business here in town. So by making these changes, we can just simply allow those sorts of businesses in these zones going forward. And also, just I personally have noticed that there seem to be some issues with how we use neighborhood commercial and maybe the office commercial zone. And so I would like to spend some time in the future maybe rewriting those and what makes sense in those zones, and also where in town those zones reside. I think most of our office commercial land is actually residential in town currently. And so with the use of our new comp plan and just being able to think more deeply about this, maybe we'll make some further changes. But for right now, this will allow a gym at the old CarQuest Auto Parts on Woodrow, which would be great because that's been an abandoned building for a little while. And hopefully we can see some more business coming to town.
Any other comments, questions?
I guess my question with the gyms is, I know you said you're going to give further consideration later, but I guess my concern is this isn't opening the door for like a mega gym to show up one day, and then we have maybe too much of a gym in a spot.
Well, I think with the neighborhood commercial lots, most of them are very small and in certain locations where, and I believe they are all effectively built out at this time. So it would be impossible really to put like a Gold's Gym in any of the lots that are currently zoned for that. So they would probably locate in the general commercial.
Okay.
I have a question about the rationale behind having some of these as conditional and having the gyms as permitted. If you could just kind of take us through that.
I think the main reason I made, frankly, that choice is because gyms are often 24 hours, but they don't really generate a great deal of traffic. And so in the neighborhood commercial, officially the rule is that they're not supposed to be open after 8 o'clock. But if two people want to go use the treadmill at 10 o'clock at night, it's not really a traffic generation service like you would see with a restaurant in the neighborhood commercial. So it seemed to make sense within the realm of what neighborhood commercial is supposed to be.
Brief. I just want to make a comment more than a question. This is where we are working to infill vacant properties in this town. You just heard our zoning administrator say pretty much all of these neighborhood commercial plots are built out, right, within town limits, but some of them are now becoming vacant and or run down, and this is all part of why we're doing this, is because we're bringing opportunities for new businesses to come in and hopefully put some money into these locations and make them viable businesses. So this is all about the infilling of vacant and downtrodden properties. All right, any other comments? Hearing none, seeing none, I'll ask Lisa to call the roll.
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Thank you all. Okay, next item up. First reading of ordinance 2418 to establish an express business license for single-family residential subcontractors. This is brought to us by the staff. This will establish a separate business license which covers all residential subcontractors under one license. Electrical, plumbing, and HVAC subcontractors will still need individual business licenses, and that would be per construction site. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, having been appropriately motioned, I'll open for discussion. Councilman?
Yeah, I'm in favor of anything that doesn't increase our liability but makes it easier for people to do business with the town, so I'm in favor. Counselor? Anything more?
I guess the only thing, because I'm not in the business of doing residential subcontracting,
Why not?
is why, is there a reason for the call out of the electrical, plumbing, HVAC in general? I mean, there's some reasoning behind that, or?
Go ahead, Doug.
Sure. So on those three subcontractors, they tend to be high dollar, especially, you know, for a residential house. And so if a house is coming in at, say, $400,000, they may be doing, you know, easily $20,000 worth of work each. And so their amount would be considerably higher. And they tend to be maybe the same firm for every house. So say Bickley Station building 60 homes, they will probably only have one or two electrical subcontractors there for the entire time. And so when Great Southern comes in to, say, get permits for 10 homes, they will let us know who their subs are, and they'll probably only have that one electrical. He'll come in and get his business license for all those 10 homes, and he's good to go. But he's probably also doing a lot of work, other work around town. It's the other subs like carpet layers, cabinet installers, painters, and cleaners that very rarely come in to get their business license, and you don't want to be chasing down 16 small businesses before we can issue the certificate of occupancy at the end of the process. And so this allows us to catch the smaller players while allowing the bigger ones to do their normal business license duties.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I think we need to make it clear that the builder will come in and purchase their normal builder's license, right, their normal license. Then they will purchase this additional add-on license to cover the miscellaneous subs. I like to refer to it as the subs who can't burn the house down, right? The other three major companies have liabilities with what they do. So this keeps us from having to chase, you know, all these folks around to try to get a license out of them for $10,000 cabinet job or whatever.
Yeah. And what you said actually brings to mind something else. The other three major subs are all licensed, bonded, certified through the state LLR, whereas your cabinet type people probably aren't or don't necessarily need to be. And we always make sure that they have their licenses through the state as we are going through our process.
Any other comments?
No.
Okay, thank you. I will ask Lisa to call the roll.
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Thank you. First reading of ordinance 2419 to amend the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 11, Rental Property Registration and Regulations. It's brought to us by the staff. This ordinance changes the required dates for rental registration, clarifies offenses and violations, and creates an occupant inspection request. Is there a motion?
So,
Second.
Having been appropriately motioned, I will then open for discussion. Councilman?
yeah, most of these updates and changes are really aligning things and providing clarity. The only thing I want to make sure I put a finer point on is creating an occupant inspection request. Doug, if you wouldn't mind, I know that it existed in the code in some fashion. I think it was more of a reference to the idea, kind of a concept of a plan, if you will. But this is like a real plan, right? So it's actually like written out now. Would you mind talking a little bit about what the intent and what it does?
Sure. So in many towns, when you have a rental registration program, they may be doing annual inspections. I think this happens a lot in, say, college towns where you have a very large rental population. Here, we have a fair number of rental properties, but we don't have any great interest in, like, say, knocking on every rental door once a year just to make sure they have fire extinguishers. But we do know that sometimes a renter may feel like their landlord is not providing the quality of house that they deserve. And it is a commercial service at that time, no different than going into a McDonald's or wherever, where there would be an annual inspection by a fire marshal or something along those lines. And so what this provides is if the resident feels that they are being underserved by their landlord, it's kind of a formal mechanism that they can request the town to go check it out. And we can send in our inspection service, CCNI. They're all licensed building inspectors to take a look at it. And by state law, or the state Landlord-Tenant Act, the landlord is required to provide a house that meets the building code. We did run this ordinance past CCNI to get their thoughts on it. And ultimately, this just allows a little bit more protection for our residents who are doing that. And also, it provides the chance for our code enforcement officer to have a little bit more access to rental properties. Like, we would never go into a private residence's property. You can put a tag on the door, but you can't look over the fence and look for things. But in a rental property, again, it is a commercial enterprise, and so we have created, at least written out specifically, that we have the right to take a look in their backyard if we had suspicion that they were doing something that was against our code, like having 7 junk cars in the backyard, or a pool that has that isn't clean and maybe is becoming a mosquito type thing. Historically, those are things that we have not really been able to address, because if we can't physically see it in a legal fashion, we can't really enforce it. But this allows us to have some ability to see those things and hopefully clean up some properties.
So then in effect, what this does is it allows a resident who feels like they may be living in an unsafe or unsuitable house or rental to report that to the town and get confirmation or something along those lines.
That's correct, yes.
Does would we be able, along those lines, would we be able to offer CCNI the pamphlet of Renter's Bill of Rights for South Carolina, so they can provide that? Because they're not going to provide legal advice, right, or guidance.
No, they're not going to do that.
If they were to hand that to the resident if they are home at the time of the inspection, or they could leave it behind perhaps as part of their inspection notice.
We could do something like that, sure.
Thank you.
Comments? Historically, we've had these conversations, when I say historically, at least in the last year. We've been working on this, and this comes to the point where someone is in a rental house and they go to sit on their commode and it falls through the floor, right?
There's a hole in the ceiling.
We have that condition on rare occasions, but we have that. So this is all about the safety of the renter as well as the homeowner. So we've had it come up, and that's why we're here tonight. So any other comments?
I have a question under definitions. The definition for total occupancy has been stricken so that it appears to delete any maximum occupancy regulation. Is that accurate?
Yes, I think occupancy is otherwise covered in the code, and also in the building code, there is an occupancy limit of 2 residents per bedroom. And so there are other laws that already define occupancy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And it's also notoriously difficult to enforce.
Doug, does this give tenants right to go to code enforcement in disputes with property renters?
What do you mean? I don't understand your question, sir.
Would the tenant be able to use report something to the town to enforce the rent?
The Landlord-Tenant Act? Yes, effectively that's what this does. I mean, I think the hope is that it would be used in more extreme cases where a person feels that maybe what they're receiving from their landlord is unsafe, unsanitary, perhaps even uninhabitable. But by state law, anything that is against code, the rental home is required to meet the building code. And so it could be something as small as, I have a cracked window and my landlord is not paying for it. What am I supposed to do? Now, we're not going to offer, legal services, but at the same time, and there is a relationship that the landlord is supposed to fix that window. And so at least, maybe we can send a letter on their behalf or, find out what we can do to help that tenant. We can't offer legal services, but we can definitely try to help them have the home that they are paying for.
All right. Lisa, will you call the roll?
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Okay. Next up is the approval of Resolution 2414 in support of requesting the legislature to enact a statute to require security cameras at senior facilities. This was brought to us by me, so I guess I'll speak on it when the time comes. Is there a motion?
Someone?
Second.
Okay, having been appropriately motioned, I would like to jump ahead. I don't usually do this, but go ahead and start the explanation. This is, again, you learn a lot of things when you sit in different varieties of governing entities. And this came to my attention through the Central Midlands Council of Governments, who passed the resolution, the same resolution to support our senior citizens with regard to elder care. Many of the municipalities and counties in the area have passed this very similar resolution. Actually, the verbiage is identical. And it came to me through the COG simply because of our ombudsman role with senior care, aging, and everything that we have to do. It goes hand in hand. And for a lot of reasons which are well beyond my pay grade, there are entities that fight this and do not want cameras. We're not putting cameras in rooms. We're not putting cameras in hallways. This is about putting cameras in entryways, ingress, egress, those types of things. Who's coming and going in the building? And there's some passionate people about it. So this was something that I thought we should do to show our support for and to kick this to the legislature. But they don't seem to want to move on it. And again, there's a lot of legal and other issues involved here. So, but anything that we can do to secure the safety of our senior citizens is a positive for me. So that's my comment. I'll entertain more comments.
Mayor, just to make sure the definition you have for senior facility, are we only talking, say, like a nursing home or a care facility? Or are we also talking about, say, apartments that market to say that they're mostly for senior living as well?
This is for care facilities.
Okay.
There is a definition. At the very top, it specifies nursing homes, residential care facilities, and assisted living centers.
Yeah.
Okay, assisted living, okay.
Exclusive of apartments.
Gotcha.
Any other comments? Okay. Call the roll, Lisa.
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Thank you all. Do appreciate that. Okay, next item up, approval to purchase a hurricane blower. Under state contract in the amount of $13,391. This is brought to us by Councilman Penfield. This will purchase a stand-on commercial leaf and debris blower from Hilton's Power Equipment. I chuckled because a hurricane blower is not really good timing for the town of Irmo right now. I'm sorry. It was a chuckle moment in my own head. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Having been appropriately motioned, we'll open for discussion. Councilman Penfield?
I was waiting for a full of hot air comment. I thought that's where you're going with that. You blew me away. As you drive around town, there are a number of gutters that are full of leaves and debris. Historically, we had a service that provided that would be addressed. And my understanding is the company's no longer operating, and so they have collected in the gutters. There's additional use from this. I'd like to call on Whit Klein to speak as a supporter, I guess.
This is a piece of equipment we've wanted for some time. The biggest advantage on having this, it's going to do, one guy's going to be able to do the work of about 2 to 4 guys that would have a backpack blower. It'll help us clean up the parking lots and the town has all around, the police department, town hall. The different parks are really quick, just one guy using it. And it'll help us clean up the big roads like St. Andrews Road. Instead of having 4 guys walk all the way from Harbison Boulevard all the way to Lizard's Thicket, this thing runs about 9 miles an hour. So it's a tremendous labor saver. And we think we can do it more often right now. We're doing St. Andrews Road once a year.
Oh.
So,
do we need a commercial driver's license for this thing?
no, no.
Well, I promise you, you don't want me on this thing, because I'll figure out a way to hurt myself. So,
we'll give you a shot on it.
our guys are all competent with using this.
Correct.
And have you done the ROI on this in terms of staff time saved? You asked them that?
Yeah, before.
Oh.
Sorry.
Like I was sitting right here. How did I miss that? All right, great. So would it be reasonable to say that the ROI of time saved exceeds $13,000, give or take, over the course of a year for time staff?
Definitely.
Okay, and then over the course of the lifespan of this product, multiple times over?
Multiple times, yeah.
I'd also like to add that this is the.
You gotta let everybody else know.
I just wanted to add that today around noon, I was at the corner of Lake Murray Boulevard and Columbiana, and I heard a lot of noise, and I looked over, and here is somebody on one of these things cleaning those sidewalks off at that intersection.
Yeah.
From Columbia?
I don't know if it was Columbia or Harbison, but
Harbison
somebody-
has one.
So they were over there cleaning.
Yep, it's a big time saver.
Okay.
It's a leaf blower.
Yeah, they'll come right through your yard. Just keep
One question I did have, I know you're talking about the streets, but you can use this in a park too.
Oh, we'll definitely be using it in the park to clean the sidewalks and parking lots.
And blow leaves off the lawn as well?
Correct, yeah, like the big field out there, we can, instead of taking a lawnmower over there,
all-purpose-
it'll be a lot faster.
Yeah, all-purpose leaf blowing machine.
Yep.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Thank you. All right, hearing nothing else, Lisa, will you call the roll, please? Thank you, Whit.
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Okay, next item G, approval to host the Border, the skate park event in 2025 for the amount of $25,000 from H-Tax funds. This comes to us from the Events Committee. This is a turnkey event that would host a skateboard competition at the Rawls Creek State Park. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Having been appropriately motioned, I will open for discussion. And again, I'll jump in here out of the box. Marie Ryan would have been here to present this, but a little under the weather today. So I said, don't worry, we'll take care of it. I will say, as part of the events committee, we have other folks from the events, well, one other folk, Jada's here from the events committee. And of course, Gabe, Councilman Penfield. These are the reasons why we built this skate park, right? I mean, this thing is not your average skate park. I mean, it seems to be to somebody who doesn't skateboard, but it is competitively designed and this company, Border, they come in for that amount of money and absolutely turnkey do everything with a 2-day event. There are national people that come in to board this thing. They gain points. It's a serious competition. I saw one of these going on when I was in Pennsylvania back in June, and it was just crazy. I mean, it was people boarding everywhere, music, bands playing, people eating, having a good time. It was really, really tremendous. So the good thing is this calls for us to allow $25,000 from HTAX, but we don't expect to have to spend all of that, right? That's what it costs to bring them in. We're looking at sponsors. We're looking at, Courtney, is it okay to mention who the main sponsor is right now? I don't see why not. Yeah, we've got, Marie went out and secured a $5,000 grant sponsor from Palmetto Citizens Credit Union. They're thrilled to be involved. I spoke with another potential for $2,500, and he's thrilled to be involved. And so there'll be others that will be. So the bottom line is we're gonna not spend $25,000. We're hoping to spend 10 or 15, maybe at the most, maybe less. So that's kind of the history. Jada, would you like to add anything that I might be missing from that? Would you like to say something? No. Okay, just checking. Just checking. You're a committee member, and you're an important committee member, so I didn't want to put you on the spot.
I think it would be a great event, and it's going to bring so many people to Irmo.
Okay. Gabe?
I would just like to clarify, if we are able to secure additional donors, then the amount the town contributes would be reduced.
Pardon?
Is that true, that if we are able to secure additional donors, the amount the town will provide will be reduced?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay. The total cost turnkey is $25. I'd love to not spend anything, but, you know, that's not realistic. So, again, hospitality funds, HTAX funds to bring people in from all over to stay in our hotels, eat in our restaurants for 2 days. That's what the purpose is. That's my opinion.
And it brings in a lot of people from their
Just
tax
asked her if she
events
wanted
that
to
they
talk,
do.
now she's chatting.
Sorry, no, yeah. It brings in a lot of people. So-
Yeah, I was reading about 100, give or take, participants, at least. Right?
We are limiting. We're limiting it to 75
Oh,
due to
okay.
parking,
Oh, yeah,
traffic, and
yeah.
we are limiting to 75. Good point. I left that one off.
What I'm missing, and I apologize, Mayor, if I just missed in the item here, but there's no actual, or this is like this is a voice vote. There's no actual ordinance or sign-off document that's in the packet.
No, we've been reviewing the contract
Okay.
that'll come with this group. There's just a few minor things that have to be adopted into it, but we've been on conference calls with them. They're pretty much go with the flow kind of group. So we should be able to lock in a contract with no problems.
Okay.
But yes, this is just an approval, mainly to commit the $25,000 to host this event.
Okay. Do you mind if I amend it not to exceed or up to? I'll make a motion to amend to read in 2025 not to exceed $25,000 from HTAX funds. So simply just taking it from a $25,000 amount to a not to exceed.
Do we have a second on the amendment?
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, with that, I'll call the roll. Lisa, will you call the roll for the amended motion?
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Thank you. Dropping back to the original motion.
I have a question.
On the original motion?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Just looking at the budget that was included in our packet, it looks like they cover all the logistics of setting it up and everything. Will there be any food, entertainment, not entertainment, but you know, like food trucks or any of that sort of thing on site? And if so, is that something that the town would arrange, the events committee would arrange? That's not covered in their setup, I don't think.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, obviously, we're looking at who the donors and sponsors may be first to allow them to come out on site and maybe set up a tent. But as far as food and things like that, the events committee has discussed food trucks. Obviously, we don't want to have a bunch of them out there because parking is so limited. But more likely, we'll invite one or two, including like Kona Ice or something like that.
Thank you.
Okay, Lisa, will you call the roll?
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Yes. Thank you all. Okay, next item up, approval to contract with Bowman Consulting Group as the primary engineering firm to perform traffic impact analysis services as needed. This is brought to us by the staff. I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
All right, it's been appropriately motioned. We will open for discussion, and more than likely, let's go ahead and have you tell us about this, if you would.
Sure. Mr. Mayor and Council, recently, Town Council adopted a change in our ordinance that required traffic impact analysis to be conducted at the expense of the developer on developments that generate 50 trips or more during peak hours. And so with that new requirement, the town does need to have a traffic engineer on call that we can reach out to when a new development's coming to town, check with them to see if the development will generate more than the trips per hour that the ordinance now specifies, and then conduct that traffic impact analysis if it does, and provide that to us. So we've put on asked to put on the agenda for two different firms. We did put this out for RFQ, request for qualifications, and received 9 of the different engineering firms submitted plans or proposals to us. Out of those 9, Dr. Wallman, myself, and Mr. Boland reviewed those and narrowed it down to these 2. Both of these have done work in the town before, so that was one of the reasons for the need to have 2 of them, one as an alternate. Obviously, they can't do a survey on a project that they're also a part of. So the Bowman Consulting Group is the first one that we asked for approval on. They would serve as our primary engineer, but if they're not available or have a conflict, then we're asking for the traffic group to be the second one, which is the next item up for vote.
Questions, comments?
And if I could just add one more comment about the Bowman, they are a big national firm, but they do have offices right here in Columbia.
Hearing none, seeing none. Lisa, will you call the roll?
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Thank you. Next item, approval to contract with the Traffic Group, Inc. as the alternate engineering firm to perform traffic impact analysis services as needed. Basically, well, just need a backup. This is brought to us by the staff. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Having been appropriately motioned, any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, I'll have Lisa call the roll.
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Thank you. Okay, item J, approval to contract with 90210 Radio to perform at the 2025 Irmo Concert Series brought to us by the staff. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Having been motioned and seconded, we'll open for discussion. Mayor Pro Tem? Nothing? Okay, I'll give you a little, just a background. We've already approved the concert series, and this is the first of the 3 bands that are going to rock the house. So if anybody has any other comments, questions?
What style of music are they?
The style that you hopefully won't dance to.
Very nice.
It's me that it's
Very, very 90s, 2000, very, all top 40 stuff. Very popular. You okay there, Jake?
Yes, sir.
You can't wait for this music, can you? It's going to be in your park, so you better be excited.
I'm like Council Lady Coleman. I'm looking at R&B.
All right, so hearing none, seeing none, will you call the roll, please, Lisa?
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes, thank you. Item K, approval to contract Shot Through Your Heart to perform at the 2025 Irmo Concert Series, brought to us by the staff. Is there a motion?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Having been appropriately motioned and seconded, I can tell you this band is a Bon Jovi tribute band.
Who knew?
I didn't really know, but that's okay. Any comments, discussion?
I just want to say I really want to sing this, and also it's bringing me back to about 15 years ago in New Jersey when Bon Jovi was playing everywhere, and I'm in favor.
Any other discussion, comments? Lisa, will you call the roll?
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Thank you. Next item, approval to contract with, chuckle moment, Let's Get It On, to perform at the 2025 Irmo Concert Series. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Would you like my Marvin Gaye?
You just need your red cap.
This is a Marvin Gaye tribute band.
I'm with you on this.
Yes.
All right, I know. If you notice, we're trying to all varieties of music with this concert series, so it's going to be great. Lisa, will you call the roll?
Mr. Mayor, if I can just add one comment. Just for clarity, I know it was in y'all's packet, and these are approvals to contract with these performers. The fees that we will be offering are well within the budget that was already approved by council. I think roughly they're all in that $4,000 range.
Thank you. Call the roll. Lisa?
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Dr. Waldman?
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger?
Yes.
Mayor Danielson?
Yes. Thank you all. Getting excited. Next up, item M, the appointment to the Orchestra Commission. We have 3 vacant positions available, brought to us by the staff. Applications were received from Sandra Fulmer, Michelle Carpenter, and Kimberly Snipes. Is there a motion to select the slate put forward?
So moved.
I'll second.
Further discussion?
Only to say, to those returning, thank you. That means that you knew what you were getting into and you want to do it again. And for those who are not, thank you. But either way, to the chairman's point, volunteers who are dedicating who are signing up and asking to donate a lot of time to the community.
We'll remind them that they asked for this.
It's a lot, and it says a lot about Mike Ward that anybody would even sign up to work with him. So, great work, Mike. Appreciate it. We appreciate you getting up and doing the intro. So, no other discussion, comments? All right. If you would call the roll.
Mr. Penfield?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman,
Yes.
Dr. Waldman,
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger,
Yes.
Mayor Danielson.
Yes. Congratulations, ladies, and thank you very much. Michelle, thank you. Thank you to Sandra, and who also, by the way, is on the school board, right? I mean, she's a busy lady. She works. I'm sorry.
You said Sandra.
Did I say Sandra? Sorry. Kimberly Snipes is on the school board. God, you know, one slip.
She's a glutton for, she's a glutton
You
for
know, this is a
punishment.
whole 2-hour event here, and I got one slip and I get jumped on.
We want you to.
I appreciate it. So, yeah, I mean, these are hardworking folks, so thank you very much. Next item, appointment to the Planning Commission, 1 vacant position available, brought to us by the staff. 1 applicant has been received from Clint Scoville. So I would entertain a motion to appoint Mr. Scoville.
So move.
Second.
Having been appropriately motioned, any further discussion? He's a veteran of the Planning Commission, and it was coming back.
Just a point of clarification. This is to finish out an existing term, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Ma'am. Okay. Lisa, will you call the roll?
Mr. Penfield,
Yes.
Ms. Coleman,
Yes.
Dr. Waldman,
Yes.
Mr. Sickinger,
Yes.
Mayor Danielson.
Yes. Okay, now we're up to, thank you, Council, for getting through all those items. We're up to presentation by citizens, and I have no one signed up. Is there anyone here who has something to say, wants to give a presentation? Okay, seeing none, hearing none, we'll move on to discussion. We have item A, discussion of the 2025 Town Council meeting schedule. Courtney, you take that?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I put it on the agenda at the request of Dr. Waldman, so I'll.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah.
I asked for this to be put on now rather than waiting until December because I'm already seeing some scheduling issues coming up for January and February and just wanted to know what we were intending to do. In particular, the January 21st regular meeting is the same day as our hometown legislative action day. And so there was concern there about a potential conflict of time.
Really? We're usually back by. You're saying that the Municipal Association of South Carolina
Yes.
scheduled, because I know it's coming up, but I didn't look at the date.
They moved it up to
scheduled it for
January.
Tuesday?
Yes.
What are you looking at me for?
Why would the Municipal Association of South Carolina, which is comprised of councils that almost all have their meetings on Tuesdays?
I think that's a rhetorical question.
It is.
But I can see the frustration in your voice. It's, I thought I'd see it earlier tonight, but that's pretty good. You know, that's, unless they're going to dinner with the legislators, I mean, you know, you're usually out of there by 4 o'clock. I'm just saying, I see it as a full day and night, but I don't know, but we're open to, I would say book the date now and figure out what we got to do later to fix it.
Oh, you mean in terms of moving it around?
Yeah, if we have to.
I mean, I'm amenable to, I don't know, I don't like missing workshops, but I'm amenable to pushing the two together and moving it to the 14th or the 28th. Actually, just move the regular meeting to the 28th, the following week.
Or just move the regular meeting later. I know, I'm pretty sure the last item on the hometown legislation is the mayor's meeting.
Oh.
Courtney,
So,
is it worth bringing it to their attention that they're throwing a wrench in every municipality schedule?
I think last year was on a Tuesday. I think we had a workshop that day.
We did.
yeah.
Oh, we could flip them. Could we flip them?
Because I
So
think
it's a
he went to the
workshop?
mayor's thing and had to get a police escort from downtown.
I mean, we could flip it so that
I
the regular
didn't need
meeting,
one.
the regular meeting's on the
I
7th.
just risked it on my own. I had to slow down when I got to Irmo, though.
Would staff have enough time to prepare for a
That's a good
regular
question.
meeting on the 7th January if we flip those 2 dates?
Yeah, probably not.
That'd be a little challenging. You're coming off of the long holiday break.
I'm okay with that.
Let's push it to the 28th,
Yeah, just push it a week. It works for me.
unless that doesn't work for their schedule.
All it does is just, all it does is kick it a week,
Yeah.
and it makes.
And I mean, we'll
clean.
have back-to-back meetings, the next month.
Yeah.
But I always like a workshop before.
It's a workshop, I
the
know.
meeting,
Conflict?
No, pushing it later in the month would, the 28th would be beneficial. That way Orchestra can meet earlier in the month and get their budget that you guys could approve later on in
Yeah.
January.
Yeah, that's fine.
Great.
With that.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
That's fine. I'd rather not do 90 miles an hour coming up the highway. Not that you can anymore with all the construction, but. Yeah, so that shouldn't be in the way. Good catch.
Well, I will be working on putting the 2025 calendar together. So if there's any other dates throughout the year that you think need to be discussed, but I'll build it out pretty much like what has been done in years past. We typically take August workshop off because that usually falls on National Night Out. And we typically don't meet on the Tuesday in November for elections. Everything else we would keep as the first and third Tuesdays of the month. I'll make the adjustment for January. I do have the dates. I can't remember if I put it on y'all's copy or not, but we do have the dates for MASC conference this year is July 16th through the 20th. So
Yeah, location.
Hilton Head. And so we would have a meeting that Tuesday on the 15th. And
16th to the 20th.
yeah.
And we'll probably be in Lottery C, so we won't even get to stay in Hilton Head. We'll probably be in Buford somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm about fed up with this lottery system.
I've played the lottery before too and been fed up with it.
You guys gotta talk to me.
Okay, well, that's good information, the 16th to the 20th. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'll pass that on to Mrs. Danielson. She loves that trip. At the beach, she'll like it.
That's right.
Tour Island.
All right. That discussion, I would assume, is over at this point. Okay, next up on the agenda is executive session. Town council may act on items discussed in the executive session after returning from the executive session. We're going in for A, contractual matter, discussion of negotiations incident to a proposed contractual agreement for the new town hall project. Is there a motion to go?
Someone?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Folks, we'll be back.
And then he paid us again, and I was like, dude, stop paying us. You're paid, you're good. she has a problem because she has her account set up as a sole prop, not a DBA.
Yeah.
And the bank won't cash the business name's check.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's fine if you
Yeah.
wanna just tell them to
I'll,
contact me.
well, I'll forward you her email.
Yeah.
And then I've got one or two more vendor payments that we need to process to, I think, Barn Hills and I can't remember his company's name, but the amusement guy, Mike Siri, CNY Amusements. I've got those two.
Yeah, since it's a refund, we don't worry about something like that, but let's say that we were paying for services that they rendered to us, then we would have to make sure that, we would get done, everything has to match their.
Why are we refunding money to Barn Hills?
No, we're not. We're paying Barn Hills because they did deliver and they did pick up, and that's what I agreed on in negotiations. So instead of paying them their whatever $3,000 fee, we're paying them like $250 the delivery and pickup because they didn't fill, they didn't service, they didn't do any of that stuff. So they never came and pumped.
Oh, I actually read that out loud at work.
So, which I don't understand. That was actually on our invoice, and it's never been on our invoice before. That was always something that I was told to send to your.
I like send it to people from out of state. Just like I take a clip of it and I send it to them.
But yeah, they didn't do anything but deliver and come and pick up. So.
I'm gonna shout, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
I'm excited.
Good.
Thank you. I enjoy it.
Lots of planning again.
We get to have it done and then.
So.
No, that's the.
That's total, that's a spring event.
Oh, that's the spring event?
Yeah, that's
Which
October.
one? I'm going to that.
Yeah.
That
And I'm
sounds
glad they
fun.
moved it because
Last
when
year
they
this year
was it 23 or 22? I think it was 22.
They've had some terrible timing on these.
It was the year Linda, so it was 22, it was Linda Hours last year. So in 22, they had Rock the Park or whatever come through in like October, which was 2 or 3 weeks after the open
Cut out the
strike.
parking lot.
And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, come on, man.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna try to have 4 or 5 bands on Saturday, right after the open strike. And it wasn't well attended. I was like, I can't do huge events after that.
No.
But you know,
We didn't think.
I think
We didn't think it was gonna be that bad.
I think this
I
is
did
gonna be
not.
good.
It'll be interesting to see how it
I had a lock on my medicine from the back thing. It pushed it down and
I guess we have a couple of months now to reevaluate. Can we paint in the winter?
Well,
It
depends on the weather.
Okay.
It's gotta be,
I was gonna say, what are the temperature?
it's gotta be.
Warm. If we planned it for like April or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I wanna get it done even before like March, I wanna do it in March.
That's fine.
Look at the numbering out there, and if you want us to adjust it.
Yeah, well, I'm actually gonna work with Danielle to get the map updated so that it makes sense through the whole park. And if we're gonna do, odds and evens or evens and odds, whatever we're doing through, we've got it consistent 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah.
It needs to be consistent all the way. So I gotta fix a lot of that stuff that John created.
It's mainly the stuff along path.
The 100s,
Screwed
yeah.
up.
Well, and then the 200s. So I fixed the 200s this year. But
You
even
see, then y'all were losing a spot too there by the stage. It was an empty spot.
yeah, I don't know what happened.
Anyhow, we put another spot there.
When it got marked out, but it's okay. Like I want to go through, make sure the map is right, and then walk it with y'all. Because I know like there's some spots out there that I walked after because you and Mike marked it, I think, or maybe Mike marked it, I don't know. But there's some
No,
spots.
I did all the marking because I was
Oh, you
exhausted,
did?
yeah.
So some of those spots that, you've got trees in between and whatnot, I just want to make sure that we're hitting. And then what we're going to make sure we have is, one thing that was a huge positive for me is when she got a hold of that map file, she actually stripped away a lot of the
I want it so it's, everybody can use the same
Yeah,
numbers.
exactly. I was, and I'm debating whether or not to do this with, just with the map, or should we just incorporate this into the numbering system? But I would like some easier way to be able to identify the spaces being within the reach of electricity. So I was just curious, how much extra effort would it be when we go to mark these things? So, like, you've got spot 400, 402, 404, 406, and then let's say 8, 10, 12, and 16 are electrics. Could we do 408E and just put an E, or could we maybe do a dot? Because I want something that's quick, but like 408 and then a dot after it, just so that on the map, when people are planning, they can say, oh, these ones have electricity.
You don't have to think about it.
Yeah, and these
If it's
ones
got a
don't.
if it's got a dot by it, it's got electricity.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then also, when people come to show up, and they're like, well, I thought I was supposed to have electricity. Well, you don't have a dot next to your number, so that means you don't have electricity, right? So, if we can do a dot, that would be super cool.
Yep. Yep, that's a good idea.
Did we ever, I was pretty sure the last time you and I talked, you said there was a land ownership issue. Did we ever make any more headway on the potential project of creating a walking bridge between Union and the park?
I'm gonna get with town council in probably January.
Okay.
And get on that.
Okay.
Because to me, that's a project that has to be done.
Yeah.
Because this bus thing is stupid when you can literally walk.
Yeah.
Why would you bus people from Union Church to here when they can walk?
Right. And so we could get rid of half of our buses, and quite frankly, if they
I think
continue.
you can get rid of all the buses. 'Cause what other parking lot are you using besides Union?
Irmo Wellness. But see, if we stick with Universal and we use their buses, all of their buses could service Irmo Wellness.
Yeah.
And the reality is Friday night for sure, we pack out all of our parking lots. Saturday, probably for the parade and until about 3 o'clock. But what we discussed at the meeting Tuesday was actually coming through and moving it. We can't do a one-day festival. There's too many parts to change. So I think we're gonna move it back to a 24-hour festival. We're gonna start Friday at 6 p.m. We're gonna end Saturday at 6 p.m. and kill all of the extra entertainment after 6 p.m. Because
I'd kill it before 6.
You know,
I mean, it's done at 3, 4, 5 o'clock.
it's about
done.
4 o'clock.
It's done.
When we start moving vendors out at
Kill it
4:30,
at
5
4.
o'clock.
Kill it at 4.
We normally start moving vendors, well, we tell vendors at 4:30 and we move vendors 5 to 6. And so that's what I was thinking is they're used to getting early out at 5 anyways. But it's not gonna necessarily reduce the amount of money we spend on rentals and things, because you still have to have it for 2 days. But it's gonna kill at least 40,000 of our budget, just from an entertainment point of view.
Really?
Yeah. 40,000 will come out, because you gotta figure, for Saturday night, we have to have the entertainers, we have to have the production team, we have to put them in hotels, we gotta hire a driver, we gotta feed them, like, all of that crap adds up to at
You're
least
never gonna have a
40,000.
good turnout on the football weekend.
And I don't think we're ever gonna have a great turnout for both nights. Most people, they're gonna pick one night or the other that they
I
want.
think you need to put all your money into one night and be done.
Well, and that's we're focusing on Friday, because that's kind of the tradition of it. Is Friday was the big party, Saturday's the festival. So that's going to be kind of what we do. The question will be, because some people brought up, well, what about alcohol sales? And I said, well, I hate to burst anybody's bubble, but the last 2 years that I've handled alcohol sales, we've sold more in Friday night than we sold all of Saturday.
Yeah.
Even with football on, and I say 2 years, 22, 23, so obviously this year we blew it up. Yeah, it's just, we're gonna move it to that. I also think it'll reduce some of our other costs.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know, if even that late, because most of the time, it's not too much. They go and collect all the cans, I think, Saturday night, take them over to the truck.
Yeah.
But it's not like
There's not much going on Saturday night. You're not gonna be able to compete with football on Saturday
Oh,
night.
no. No. And Lord forbid we have another situation like 22 where we have Parents Weekend that crops up. And so we paid $30,000 to Corey Smith and
Yep, nobody was
had
there.
like 2,000 people.
Yeah,
there.
there's virtually nobody there.
Yeah. My whole goal for 25 is to kick it back and make it profitable as a fundraiser. You know, for years they talk about, oh, it's not about the money, but I do think it is about the money. It's about putting on a great event and fundraising so we can put the money back into the community, because that's what we're doing. Whether it's we're buying something for the town, or we're giving it to a nonprofit, or we've had nonprofit groups that show up to volunteer, like we need that.
Yeah. I like it being put back into that park. That's what a lot of the improvements in the park are.
Oh, yeah, the money being put, yeah. Right, because like, we still have that project of building the trough for the cabling, or finding a way to engineer that, stage so that we can install some sort of permanent trusses for light. Like, there's plenty of options. We talk about like that land bridge, that bridge we're talking about, like, that could be something where, you know, if that.
I'm gonna try to get that done this year.
I will tell you also.
What they're talking about now, sucking up all the money. That money. Bad thing is, that parking lot there, they don't have an account. And you're gonna lose a lot of money.
The gravel or the field?
The wooden lot. I wonder where it's at. Maybe it was at 8.
Yeah, because that's where I was living. That's where all public safety goes. That's where all of this year was gonna be all my vendor parking. When's that gonna be?
Look, there's also not right now.
What happened? Yeah, they used to have the lapel mics that they would wear. Those are dangerous. Remember our bathroom situation? Remember Mark Pouliot went into the bathroom?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he left his mic unmuted, and he was in there, and you hear, oh. We're all like, oh my god.
Oh my God.
And whoever was running the controls at the time was, so one of them is still. Hold on, I gotta record this.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You got it on. What is this for?
I don't know, but they just heard all y'all's conversations.
Well, I will tell you. That one is? Yeah. I learned that years ago. If you have the main system muted, how is it?
All right, folks. I want to thank all the crowd for being here. Can't blame them. This has been a long meeting. We are out of executive session. We did not take any votes, didn't take any action. At this point, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.